Okay, welcome to the last section of Anatomy 2. This will be on the special senses. Special senses are not really contained in a singular body system. However, they are certain sensory systems that are important to massage therapy, such as proprioception, vision, hearing, smell, and taste. And we'll be briefly going over those today. And this will be a really short section, but it is one that is considered to be important to massage therapists. Okay, so of the senses, we said we had proprioception, vision, hearing, smell, and taste that is important to massage therapists. Proprioception is simply the body's ability to recognize the location and position of all of its parts at any time. This sensory input is necessary for the body to move in coordinated, safe manners. Proprioceptors, introduced earlier as part of the nervous system, can be found in the muscles, the tendons, the joints, as well as the inner ear. These sensory neurons convey information to the brain regarding the body's position, the muscle tone, and the equilibrium. We talked about muscle spindles. Are simply the proprioceptors located in the muscles that are specifically responsible for sensing the length of muscle fibers. We also discussed Golgi tendon organs being specialized proprioceptors in the tendons that sense the tension of the muscle fibers. Next up we have vision. This is your eyesight. Vision system, or the eye, comprises of the following primary structures. You have the cornea, which is the clear covering that protects the front of the eye. The iris, which is the colored portion of the eye. The pupil, that's the hole in the center of the iris that dilates or constricts in response to light levels. The lens, that's the clear curved part of the eye behind the iris that focuses light onto the retina. The retina is the light-sensitive layer of tissue that lines the back of the eye and transmits the image to the brain. The sclera is the white or the outer layer of the eye. The vitreous body, not sure how to pronounce that specifically, but the vitreous body is the spherical part of the eyeball behind the lens that's filled with gel called the vitreous humor. And then you have the extrinsic muscles of the eye. These are the muscles that move the eye in all different directions. Next up we have hearing. The ear and its structure is what provides our sense of hearing. It consists of three sections. You have the external ear, the middle ear, and the internal or inner ear. The external ear includes the pinna, also called the auricle, also contains the auditory canal and the tympanic membrane, also called the eardrum. Then in that middle layer, you have the eustachian tube or the auditory tube, and the three bones called ossicles that amplify incoming sound waves. These ossicles are named for their shape. You have the malleus, which is similar to a hammer. The incus resembles an anvil, and the stapes is shaped like a stirrup. Then you have the inner ear. This is mostly a bony labyrinth of canals. It can be divided into three sections. You have the cochlea. It's located toward the front. It is the hearing center of the ear. You hear about people getting cochlear implants to regain their hearing. It contains the organ of the chordae, which transmits sound waves to the brain. Then you have the vestibule. Is the next part of the ear. It responds to up and down changes in head position and gravity. And the semicircular canals are the third portion of the inner ear, and they're sensitive to rotational movement of the head. So all those three ossicles work to kind of help with balance. And next we have smell. Sense of smell is manufactured by the olfactory membrane toward the roof of the nose. olfactory cells sensitive to chemicals are located within the olfactory membrane. And we talk in kinesiology, we go more in and we study a little more in depth, as well as we did a little bit with the nervous system, where we studied the olfactory nerve, all the cranial nerves, but in this situation with smell, the olfactory nerve, also referred to as cranial nerve 1. It passes through a thin sheet of bone and then comes in contact with the olfactory bulb. From there, the chemical signals are converted into electrical signals and pass down neurons through the olfactory tract to the brain. Then we have taste. There's 3 types of papilla on the tongue that contain taste buds. Fungiform papilla are located near the front of the tongue. They contain 3 to 5 taste buds each. Then you have the circumvallate, maybe papilla. They are found toward the back of the tongue, and each contain over 100 taste buds. And then you have the folate papilla. These can be found along the sides of the tongue, and there's also over 100 taste buds each there. Each taste bud has between 30 and 100 taste receptors that transmit information to the brain. And contrary to past teachings and popular belief, each taste bud receptor is sensitive to each of the 5 taste sensations: bitter, salty, sour, sweet, and umami. Effects of massage on the special senses. Massage increases the parasympathetic system of the nervous system, which one of the responses of that is to constrict the pupils, and hearing becomes more accurate or more acute. You have a greater sense of hearing. It's just like when one sense is weakened or missing, other senses become more hypersensitive to an extent. Like if you're blind, you have extremely good hearing. If you're deaf, you usually have really good vision. That kind of situation. So with that, go in as much as possible and fill out the major components of each of the systems, the functions, and the effects of massage. And then we'll talk briefly about condition of the special senses. Those are simply blindness, deafness, compromised proprioception. There's no contraindications in general. Clients may need special attention to ensure their safe, relaxing, and comfortable massage. Obviously, if a client is blind, you want to help lead them to the massage room. You want to make sure no obstacles are within their way that they're going to trip on or anything like that. If they're deaf, you'll have to, before the massage ever begins, you need to determine some sort of communication with that client, thumbs up, thumbs down, something like that, something so that they can communicate back and forth with response to pressure. Are they doing okay? Are they comfortable? When it's time to flip over, maybe tap them on the shoulder or something. You just need to have some kind of system in effect for those types of clients. Obviously, if you have a client that cannot speak, then you're going to have to do hand gestures, that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily have to know sign language to be able to communicate, but if someone cannot speak, then there are different hand gestures and stuff that you can do with your client. Just make sure y'all agree upon those ahead of time so the client knows what's going on during the massage, especially with if they're deaf, because they can't, the room is typically kind of dark, so it's harder for them to see too. So, you want to kind of have a system in place for those types of clients. That's really it as far as we're going to go into the special senses. Again, like I said, super short, super sweet, perfect way to end Anatomy 2. You've learned a lot of information over throughout the course of Anatomy 1 and 2, as well as through your medical terminology course. You will continue to hear new terms and new pathologies new systems popping up throughout the remainder of the course in your other classes. So don't feel like this is over and done. You do need to kind of keep up with this. Make sure you go back and review it from time to time. Those charts that you made, the diagrams, make sure you keep those on hand so you can use those to review back and forth while we're progressing along through the other courses. And that is it for Anatomy, Physiology, and Pathology 2. And congratulations, you're complete with Anatomy 2.